Good morning, students. Once again, you are welcome back to the biology class. And just 1 second, close your eyes and pray. We are discussing about the methods of reproduction or reproduction in organisms. That is our topic, this chapter. And I hope you remember, last class we discussed that unlike other life processes, life processes include, you can see, respiration and movement. These are very essential for organism. Reproduction is, for that particular organism, it is essential. But it is essential to continue a species generation after generation. So, that is the importance of reproduction, to continue a species generation after generation. The most important process that is happening during reproduction is copying of the DNA. Last year you studied that the nucleus of the cell contain the nucleus contain genetic material, that is DNA, and DNA is in chromosomes. You can see this is different chromosomes are there in different number of chromosomes are present in different organisms. So these chromosomes are made up of mainly DNA and protein. DNA is the genetic material, meaning you can see last year you studied DNA is made up of so many segments. These segments are called genes. These genes control the characteristics of the organism. So the first important part of reproduction is when a cell is producing another cell, the multiplication of the nucleus. So nucleus will divide first. So when the nucleus divide, in amoeba you studied that amoeba, you can see one nucleus is there. If we examine the division in amoeba, so you can see this nucleus slowly it will elongate, and then you can see it is it will divide into two nuclei. One nucleus, it became two nuclei. So the DNA that is present in the nucleus, it should be duplicated or it should be copied. So the copy must be exactly similar. When a copy is made, for example, if there are 4 chromosomes, it should become 8 before the division of the nucleus. So meaning there should be a copying of the DNA. DNA should be copied. So that is what is happening at the time of cell division, and before reproduction also you can see the DNA copying is taking place. So meaning one DNA will become 2. So this newly synthesized DNA, it will be transferred to the next nucleus. So the organisms that produce from the parent, it will be exactly alike because of the copying of DNA. But sometimes you can see slight variations also possible. At the time of copying, when you come to +2, you will understand. The time of copying, when one is divided into 2, the time of copying, you can see slight variations also possible. This variation means differences. These variations are very important because these variations make the organism to survive in different habitats. For example, the place where an organism lives is called its niche, NICH, niche, meaning place where an organism lives. So if there is a change in the niche, so the place where they are living, if the organisms if they are all alike, there may be problem. They may not be able to survive. So, for example, in the example given in your textbook is this one: bacteria living in some water, and because of the global warming, you can see the temperature is increasing. There is a change in the global temperature. Because of the change in the global temperature, the temperature rises. So water temperature also increase. So if all bacteria are alike, they cannot. Sometimes all of them will die, and the whole species or the whole organism may die. But this will not happen because of the variance. Some differences will be there between the bacteria, and so because of this one, some will be able to survive, and that is the advantage of variation. So that is the first thing what you studied, why organisms reproduce, and whether they are exact copies when they reproduce, whether they are producing same copies, or there is differences, and if there is difference, slight differences are there, and what is the advantage of that difference. So if there is a great difference, that if there is a big difference, the organism may not survive also. So the difference will not be very big, and slight differences will be there. For example, human being, 46 chromosomes are there. If it becomes 47 or 45, big abnormalities are there, which we will study later. So mental disorders and so many other problems may arise if there is a change in the genetic material, drastic change. Now we are going to see asexual method of reproduction. You can see many unicellular organisms, two methods of reproduction: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. First we are going to see asexual reproduction and different types of asexual reproduction that we are going to discuss now. You can see in amoeba, which we already studied in lower classes, the reproduction is asexual reproduction. Now, amoeba, asexual reproduction is, the name of the asexual reproduction is binary fission. Binary fission. Fission means divide into two. Binary fission means division. Binary fission means one cell divide into two. First thing, that is what is happening. I told you that the nucleus will divide into two, and the two nuclei will be produced, and after that the cell will slowly, the cytoplasm and nucleus, cytoplasm and cell membrane all separate, and the two cells will be produced. And you can see two amoebae will be produced. Amoeba singular, amoebae plural. So from one cell to, so this is called binary fission. So meaning the cell divide into two. Usually this division can take place at any place. Actually the nucleus should divide into two. It can take place at any place. So meaning it is not necessary to take place here. It can take place this plane, any other plane. This can take place. But in fission in other organisms, you have to remember Leishmania and Plasmodium. There is other organism like in the Leishmania, which is the diagram is given in your last year textbook. In this organism, this is causing a disease called Kala-Azar, which you studied last year. Diagram is there in the 9th class textbook. If you examine that organism, it is somewhat like this. It is somewhat like with a long filament-like structure, flagellum. So this organism, it cannot just divide at any place. The division takes place only through a particular plane, place. If it wants to divide into two, the division takes place through only a particular place, and because it is having whip-like structure here, this is the whip-like structure, and because of this whip-like structure, it will divide at a particular plane. But amoeba, so question can be asked, what is the difference between fission in amoeba and Leishmania? In amoeba, the division is You can see the division can take place, binary fission can take place at any plane, any place. And but in Leishmania, which is causing Kala-Azar, you can see it will take place only through to a particular place. But in another organism called Plasmodium, Plasmodium is also a very important organism causing disease. Plasmodium causes malaria. This organism, you can see it is this organism one cell, and you can see this organism, it is not dividing into two, it will divide many times, meaning one cell will divide into two, then again the two cells will divide into four, and it will keep on dividing like this. You can see this is also fission, but the fission is called multiple fission, meaning one cell produces so many cells after the division. So it is called multiple fission. So what is the difference between this one, first, second and third one? This one is producing so many cells after the division. So this is called multiple fission. Multiple fission, one cell divided into so. Then after that one, the cell will break, all these organisms will come out. Malarial parasite, very serious disease. Nowadays it is not present in our places, but it was very common in earlier times. So that is what is called multiple fission. Then next type is fragmentation. So all here we discussed about a unicellular organisms having one cell, unicellular organism. But in multicellular organism, you can see simple method of fission is not possible, meaning many cells are there. It cannot just divide. Example given in the textbook is next one is fragmentation, multicellular organism. Fragmentation. Fragment means pieces. Thus, the organism divided into pieces. A good example is it is given in your textbook. Is you can see in Spirogyra is example. You know Spirogyra. Spirogyra, the green colored alga that is present in the water. It is filamentous, meaning it is made up of so many threads, and it is made up of so many threads. The filament can break at any place, because when the water is flowing, also it is possible just it will break at any place, and then each piece can develop into a separate organism. This is called fragmentation, and that is very common in Spirogyra. But in multicellular organisms, this kind of fragmentation, the just breaking into this kind of division is not possible in a very highly complicated organism. And because so many different type of tissues are there, it cannot be just broken down into simple. So another type of again division that is taking place in some other organism is called regeneration. Actually, regeneration is not a method of reproduction, but it is happening in some organisms. Regeneration. Regeneration. What is regeneration? In planaria, you can see if the organism is cut into so many places, each one can grow into a separate organism. If you just cut, and that cut part, it will it will grow into a separate organism. Actually, there are specialized cell for regeneration here. So in a planaria, the reproduction can take place by cutting the body into different pieces. Actually, this is not actually, we cannot say it is as a method of reproduction, because somebody has to cut the organism into pieces. That is actually not possible. If accidentally cut, then it can, if accidentally it is separated, then it can grow into a complete organism. So this is a planaria. So this is called regeneration. regeneration strictly is not a method of reproduction, but that is possible in organisms like a planaria. And similarly, you studied about hydra. In a hydra, the method of reproduction is called budding, which you studied. And this is hydra. Hydra is a multicellular organism and is having so many tendrils at one end fixed to one place. Usually it is seen in aquatic environment. It is called tentacles. Name is not important. So this also having different type of cells are there. You can see multicellular organism with so many. There are specialized cells. You also last year you studied there are different type of cells in the body. Like that, this also is having specialized cells. Some of the specialized cells, it may produce a small bud. So bud is, about the plant buds, you are very familiar. A bud can be produced from a particular part of the body and not just anywhere, because from specialized cells, buds can develop. These buds become bigger and bigger, and the bud become bigger and bigger. You can see when the bud becomes bigger and bigger, it will cut off and get separated from the parent, and this can grow into a complete organism. So this is called budding. Like buds, buds are produced, and the buds will get separated and grow into a separate organism. So this is the different methods of asexual reproduction takes place in animals. And now we are going to see some methods of asexual reproduction in plants, and which you are very familiar with plant reproduction. For example, when we grow tapioca, we are not using the seeds, we use the stem, and also like chena kaachilokke, we are not using seed. And some of the plants they are not able to produce seed also. For example, jasmine, mulla, no seed, and banana, no seed. It has to be spread through the small suckers. Actually, with suckers. So actually, method of reproduction is they purely depend on this kind of vegetative propagation. So what is vegetative propagation means? The part of the plant can grow into a complete organism. Tapioca stem can grow into a complete plant, and like that many plants are there. Some of them never produce seed, and the tapioca of course they can produce seed, but many plants are not able to produce seed, and their method of reproduction is purely vegetative method. And some example given in the textbook is this one. Okay, we are discussing about vegetative propagation. Many plants, part of the plant can grow into a complete plant, like a tapioca, banana, jasmine, mulla. So many other plants are there, and propagation like that or reproduction like that is called vegetative propagation. And vegetative propagation is very advantageous because the young ones will be exactly like the parent plant. Meaning, if you plant a tapioca from a particular stem, it will be exactly like its parent plant. There is no difference. So that is an advantage of this kind of vegetative propagation. And then this method, vegetative propagation, is used in tissue culture, which we will discuss later. Then another method of first method of vegetative propagation given in your textbook is in bryophyllum. Bryophyllum, you know what is bryophyllum, elamulachi, which is very common. If you examine the leaf of the plant, you can see it is having so many notches, small constructions like that. And then at this place, this notches means this region, You can see small buds are there, and these are called leaf buds. Leaf buds are there, and these leaf buds, from the leaf bud new plant can grow, and that is the case of bryophyllum, and which you are very familiar with the bryophyllum. And here the method of reproduction is through the leaves. This is also again another method of asexual reproduction or vegetative propagation. And as I told you, plants can be grown, a plant can be grown from one cell. So a multicellular organism plant, if you take one cell from that plant, that is equal to zygote in zygote. So meaning one cell is enough, and that is actually used in tissue culture. In tissue culture, what is happening is this one. In tissue culture, a few cells from a plant is kept in a nutrient solution. And a particular nutrient solution, cells are separated. For example, in a banana, the root tip is cut into small pieces. Banana and a root tip is cut into small pieces and put into a nutrient solution. These are pieces put into nutrient solution. And after some time, you can see this will divide and it will divide and it will form a mass of cells, and that is called callus, C-A-L-L-U-S, callus. And this callus is then transferred to another solution which contains hormones. Hormones are there, another solution with the hormones. This callus is separated and it is kept here. And then after some time, you can see this will become a small plant. It will start to become a small plant. So like that, many plants are nowadays commercially produced by this method is called tissue culture. The very tissue culture vaazhavithokke very common nowadays, and it will have the same characteristic of the parent plant from where it is the cells are collected. So this is all about the one more method is there which we will discuss later. Time is over. Thank you.